Hey folks, welcome back to another Why It's There video. In this series, we're basically just showing you my collection one shelf at a time, and I'm giving a brief explanation about why the titles that are still on my shelves are, in fact, still on my shelves. And if I seem a little precarious, it's because I am. I'm using my wife's kitchen footstool because this is like just tall enough to where I need something and just short enough to where it's too much to bring out the ladder. So if I look like I'm about to fall, I probably am. Don't tell OSHA. Let's continue. So I'm going to start on this side because I'm going to have my shoulder, facing the camera, and it's going to be covering up some of those games. So, like normal. Whoa. All right, so here we are, starting down here. Blitz Bowl. Blitz Bowl is like the... If I can put it this way, it's like the coffee table version of Blood Bowl, which is a really cool fantasy-themed football game that Games Workshop started way back when. And this is like the streamlined coffee table version of Blood Bowl. Really fun game. I've really enjoyed it. Has great miniatures in it as well. So that's staying on my shelf for the near future. Above that, the quintessential classic Pandemic. I keep this around just in case because I do enjoy the game, but I rather play the legacy versions of it because I like the little twists and changes. But you can't always play the legacy game, right? So it's cool to have the classic around just in case. So that's why this is still here. Kings of Israel is another kind of pandemic-y type game, but I love the Christian theme or the Old Testament theme that this one has, and so this one's staying around. Kings of Israel is a great biblically themed game. Dice Town, Ludovic Mablanc, and Bruno Cathala. Great dice chucking game. Has neat dice cups in it where you're basically just trying to put together the best poker hand to do certain things throughout the board. It's a great time. It's a loud time because those dice cups are plastic and they are loud. But it's a really fun game. That's why it's stuck around. Seven Wonders Duel. I much rather prefer to play Seven Wonders, the regular game. But Seven Wonders Duel is a good replacement scratch for that itch if you only have two players around. So that's why that's still here. Hellas and Kahuna. These are like some of the older games that I've had in my collection because I just like the themes, first of all, and then secondarily, they're really small, compact games, and you can take them almost anywhere and play them almost anywhere. Hellas is where it's a two-player card area control game where you're trying to control as many islands as possible, and then Kahuna, you're trying to control the connections between the two islands, and they're just really neat, strategic minded two-player games, so that's why these two are still here. The Funko Pop, the Funkoverse games here, I have more than just 3 expansions, but I've kind of consolidated some of them into these boxes. I really enjoy these games because they're just cheeky fun, and you can have all of these different characters battle against each other, and it's, a cross-section of different universes that you just wouldn't normally have probably in a game. So that's one of the reasons why it's here. But it's also just a fun kind of almost like an arena combat type game with really quirky abilities. So I really enjoy this one, and the miniatures are pretty cool too. I'm not usually a huge fan of the Funko Pop miniatures, but these... it works, and it's cohesive, and it's nice. So that's why these are still here. They also have a pretty cool curb appeal as well. Jamaica is one of my favorite race games, pirate themed. The artwork is amazing. It has a great table presence, and the gameplay is super easy to teach. So this one is one that we normally take to board game nights. We don't often play it a whole lot, but it's one of those things that I always keep in my back pocket just so that I can have a racing game that's pirate themed. Because usually when you think racing game, you think vroom vroom, cars, tracks, go, turn left, all that kind of stuff. But this one is pirates, and it's ships and combat, and it's just really fun. So that one's staying around for a very long time. Dwarven Smithy. Honestly, transparency is key. I've only played this game once, and I don't really remember too much about it, but it's dwarves forging stuff. So that's why it's on my shelf. I need to get this back to the table so that I can see if it's going to stick around. I imagine it will, though, because it's dwarves forging stuff. Thunder and Lightning, Richard Borg, two-player card game. This one has a Nordic mythology theme to it as well, Norse mythology theme to it, and really, really cool back and forth play. Jetpack Joyride, I used to play the snot out of Jetpack Joyride on my phone back when it first came out, and then when Lucky Duck said that they were going to be putting out a game, I had to go get it. So I did, whoa! So I did, and it's there, and it is a very good implementation, board game implementation of that app, so of that game. So very cool. Coming back down here, Lindisfarne, a really compact game about the Viking invasion of Lindisfarne. Neat, quirky, but neat. And I think its quirkiness is what has kept it in my collection. I just don't want to get rid of it because it's a Viking game. And it's pretty cool too. This white box here is a playmat for Sheriff of Nottingham. So that's why that's there. Sheriff of Nottingham is on the other side of my collection. This just fills up that little void right there. Resist, neat solo game. This is one of the first, the theme is what reached out to me first of all. I didn't realize it was just a solo game when I really said that I wanted to get it and see it. So when I found out it was a solo game, I was like, well, that shouldn't keep me from getting it because the theme reached out to me enough. So I went ahead and bought it, played it, really enjoyed it actually. So that's going to stick around for a while. Rome, a really cool game about Rome. But also haven't played this one in a long time. Have to get that back to the table. But I really enjoyed it back in the day when I reviewed it for the Dice Tower. So that one's sticking around. Sola Fide here is from Jason Matthews and Christian Leonard from Stronghold Games. And this is a neat little church history thing where there's some area control in there. Neat card play. So I really enjoyed this one. So I'm keeping it around. It's a two-player game. So that's another reason why I like to keep it around. I like having two-players game because my wife and I... keep tilting the room. My wife and I like to play two-player games, so that one's there. Another two-player game, Raptor. Talked about this a lot. Scientists versus raptors, and it's a great little game. Bruno Cathala, Bruno Fedudi, two super great designers, and so there you have that. First Class. This is a train game that I'm usually not a huge train game person. But this one kind of just reached out to me. I liked the way it looked on the table, and I also enjoyed the mechanisms. So I'm always looking out for stuff like that, where mechanisms and looks and table presence just kind of all come together and converge on themselves. So that is a good game. Really enjoyed this one. Portals and Profits. I've never played this game. It was given to me, and I just haven't gotten rid of it yet. So there's a little bit of a connection there just because it was a gift that somebody gave to me. But I need to get it to the table, see what I like. Takanoko is a great little game. You want to talk about table presence? That one has it very much so. Cute little panda, cute little... a gardener that's walking around. Tiles have great artwork on it, but this is a very, very fun game. Resource management and collection, that type of stuff. Irish Gauge, another train game, and I actually have been sent the two other Gauge games that are out there right now. I think one's Iberian Rails, and the other one, I'm looking for it. I can't see it. It's behind another stack. Iberian Rails and... Iberian Gauge and Ride the Rails. I'm changing. Whoa. So this is one that I've really enjoyed. I reached out to Capstone and they said they would send me the rest of the series so that I could do this one again to see how it's living up to it, because I really enjoyed it back in the day, and then to compare it to the other two that have come out. So looking forward to that. That's coming up in the future. Pandemic Iberia. This is probably my favorite standalone version of Pandemic that's out there. I just really like the historical theme that's connected to this one. So that one's going to stay in my collection probably longer than basic Pandemic can, or the legacy games. Coming down here, Big Trouble in Little China, the game from Everything Epic Games. This is, if you've seen the movie, this is that movie in a box to a freaking T. And I just love this game. Everything Epic. Chris is a great guy, and he and I connect on a lot of different levels. And our love of this era of movies is one of those ways that we connect. And he nailed this game and the production of it. So this is one that will not be leaving my collection ever. So that is Big Trouble in Little China. Very fun game, but it's super thematic and it's super tied to the movie. If you've never seen the movie, you'll be like, what in the world is going on? But if you have seen the movie, you're going to get it and you're going to love it. Shark Island is a game that is by a good friend of mine, Pete Shirey, and he is a shark fan. He is a shark aficionado. He is a shark dude. And he made this game, and it's a great little game. And I've told him this, I like Jaws better, the Funko, the Prospero Hall version from the movie. And this is like super based on that, but I like that game better. But this is one that, again, my buddy designed it. It was a labor of love for him, and so I've held on to it. This one as well, nothing personal. A buddy of mine made it, two buddies of mine actually. But Tom, this is Tom's game of Nothing Personal, and it's basically just a rejiggering, if I can put it that way, a re-tinkering, I guess you could say, of Kremlin, which was a game that Tom really, really, really enjoyed, but thought it was a little bit outdated. And so he wanted to make it better, so to speak. And so he took some of the stuff that he liked from it and added some other stuff to it and put a Mafia theme on it. And that's what he came up with, him and Steve Avery. So this is a game that's, again, I enjoy it. I think it's a great game. It's a fun game. But more than that, I think it's staying in my collection because Tom made it. Merlin, Stefan Feld, Michael Reineck from Queen Games. I'm a sucker for lesser than Vikings, but I'm a sucker for Arthurian legends, and so I've really enjoyed this one. I also have the expansion Knights of the Round Table, and it's in there. I have the expansion box actually on my wall over there as decoration. But that is that. What's Up is the final game here. This is by Strawberry Studio. So have you been looking for a game that fits in your pocket, can be explained in 60 seconds, and can be played in 15 minutes? Great for 2, 3, or 4 people. Has high replay value, plays great with both kids and geeks? Well, stop looking. It's a fun, fast, smart, card flipping set collection game. So this is one that has stayed on my collection just because of its diversity with families and gamers. So that's it for Why It's There. Thanks for joining us. We certainly appreciate it. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.